That's ridiculous.
Short minutes.
I still love it though, and it warms up pretty quick. But mine
Yeah.
mine's the old silver one. Mine isn't even the rose colored one.
Whoa.
I'm way behind in time. I should probably let Sarah thread that needle. I was just checking to make sure the needle threader worked. You don't like to try to thread the needle and have it not work.
Like, you've known me for this long, and you.
My grandmother
still
was
call
a
me
Sarah.
Sarah?
My grandmother was
With an
Sarah with an
H?
H, but they called her Sadie. That was her nickname. So
Oh.
Sally is Sarah, but we call her Sally.
That's
Oh, I
cute.
got notification.
We're live.
We're live. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We're back again. Just like a bad penny, we keep turning up. Okay. Today we're going to get Sarah to put some of these strips together that we cut 2 weeks ago, if you remember that. So we're going to start off with just talking about last time we cut all the strips. If you follow along in the book, all the cutting instructions were right here in the pink. Okay. Now we're getting over here to the strip assembly.
So we're doing basic introduction to quilting,
Yes.
and we'll show them which quilt we're working on today and which out of
Okay.
which book.
And we're working very slowly. This is the quilt in the book, right here. And the fabrics that they picked are pitiful at best.
So I didn't tell you guys, but we now have a red dot.
Oh,
And if you want to show a product overhead, you just
Oh.
lay it over the red dot.
how about that?
And then
Yeah.
the camera will go right to it.
Alrighty.
So let's try it.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. And of all the quilts in this book, this one has the worst fabrics. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean.
So this is my daughter's quilt. She's the one that picked that quilt, and I couldn't imagine why she would have ever picked that quilt because I thought it was just pitiful looking. But if you see the fabric she picked here, she started this months and months ago, so these fabrics aren't available anymore. But you can see how much prettier this is with these colors than
Yeah.
the ones in the book.
And that,
Okay?
whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever that is. Okay.
We're going to move your mic up a little bit too.
Oh, okay.
Just-
Sorry.
That's good. Right there.
Alrighty.
Good.
Okay. So, as you can see by the style of the quilt, there's rectangles and then they have sashing all around them. Rectangles and they have sashing all around them. So this is what we did. We picked the kits last time. These are Sarah's rectangles. This beautiful floral and her golden, what do you call that, a filigree maybe?
Paisley?
Oh, maybe paisley. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the navy blue grunge is going to be all of the sashing that goes around all of the rectangles. So today she's going to sew one set for us. She's going to cut one set. And then it's going to be your homework if you want to follow along with us next time. Speaking of which, Steve, 2 weeks from today we're going to be having our event. Are we going to be doing this?
I don't think we're going to be able to go on with our regularly scheduled shows during the event. I think it's going to be an all hands on deck type of thing for those 2 weeks.
Just like today at the store.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So that'll give you extra time to get all of your rectangles sewn and cut. Okay?
It'll give me
All right.
extra time too
Yeah.
to do my homework.
Yes, because I told her she had homework and she looked at me kind of like a deer in headlights. And then
Homework?
and I said, "Do you want to sew it?" "I'm going to sew it. Yes, I want to learn." I said, "Okay." So what we're going to start off with, Sarah, is we're going to add one of our navy blue sashing strips. And I don't know what they call it in the pattern. I call it a sashing strip. We're going to add that to the edge, matching the raw edges. to one of our rectangle blocks, what's going to be a rectangle block. And you can put a clip every once in a while. You don't need to have them, you know, every 2 or 3 inches. Maybe one every 6 or 8 inches, just to keep you on track as you're sewing through the machine. Okay?
So we'll do that now.
Yes.
Clip it. Let's,
I just thought the clips were much easier than pinning. Now, if I'm doing, let's say, an 8-pointed star and I want it to come together perfectly in the center, I will use pins because I don't want any shifting to go on. The clips are
a lot easier.
pretty easy, yeah. Just keep smoothing it down as you go. And even sometimes when you sew, whatever fabric is on top will start to hump up a little bit. That's just the nature of the beast. So then you have to remove the clip and kind of smooth it and keep on going. That's why whenever we do thick fabrics, velvets, the cuddle, all that sort of thing, that's why we use the digital dual feed, because that prevents that top fabric from kind of sliding along and humping up against you.
like that.
And if that's not perfect, you can straighten it at the needle and make it perfect. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can line it up at the needle and make it
Okay.
perfect. Okay?
So this is kind of just to keep it together.
Just to keep it together. You got it. Sometimes I wouldn't even do this. I'd just go to the machine and sew it. But I've been doing this for,
It's my
40
first
years.
time.
Yes, I've been doing this for 40 years and she has not. Okay. I've threaded the machine with like a dark gray RFL thread. I usually use a neutral. I don't usually match my thread in my seams to the fabric in the quilt. Now sometimes if I'm making binding, because binding gets a little stress on it, and if you pull it, sometimes if you have too light of a thread in the seam, you'll see it.
You'll see it.
So sometimes if I was making binding out of this, I might put navy blue
like a
thread in.
darker.
Okay, so go ahead.
All
Go
right.
over the machine. I put a brand new 80-12 needle in. I like to piece with an 80-12. Normally, most of the machines here, we always have 90-14 embroidery needles in because we're constantly changing from sewing to embroidery, sewing to embroidery. And you can sew with an embroidery needle, but you really want to embroider with an embroidery
Let's get you
needle.
a table
You don't
on
want to
there.
embroider
sew
with
real
a...
quick. Let's get you a table on there to sew with. It'll be a lot easier.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, Steve. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I left the needle unthreaded because I don't think Sarah's ever used our handy dandy needle threader yet. She's going to be amazed.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yep.
I took care of everything. Threading
That's
the
okay.
bob and changing the needle, and I forgot about the extension table. Okay.
So-
Oh, we need the 1/4 foot. So you can sew a 1/4 seam. And I thought we had it here.
Uh-oh.
Just a minute. Surely we have one somewhere. That's my fault. I was not prepared.
You can actually hit that needle threader button, Sarah.
Okay.
The far right one.
Yep.
There you go.
Mm.
One more time.
I know we must have a 1/4 foot here
Look at you
somewhere.
with it, I think. Let's see.
I'm sorry about that. I wasn't even thinking. I was so intent on winding a bobbin and threading, changing the needle that I missed.
There's a lot to prepare.
I missed the 1/4 foot. And like I said, all day today we were in the store running like crazy people. Why don't we just move the needle over to
We
1/4 inch?
didn't find it.
We can we'll
there's
just go
one?
without the 1/4 for now. We'll
Yeah.
just show her how to use the
We'll just
line
move,
on the
yeah,
plate.
we'll just move and we'll move the needle over. Okay. I do believe that one of these stitches is a 1/4 inch with the J foot. Am I correct?
So if you leave center needle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you use the 1/4 inch line that's on the plate there. Let me zoom in on that one real quick. Let's see where that's at.
I'm sorry about that.
That's
that
okay.
I forgot the foot. I guess I was kind of at home. My 1/4 inch foot is always on my machine. That's probably how I forgot.
So that 1/4 inch mark,
That one right there.
Mm-hmm.
yep, that one right there. So if you line your fabric,
Yeah, I would move my clip back a little bit so you can get in there.
We'll just put that to
And
the
once you
side.
put the fabric, the ridge of the fabric on the 1/4 inch, which one is the 1/4 inch? I think it's right there. Then you can eyeball it with the edge of the foot, and then you'll know where to run it.
Okay.
Okay, put the foot down here and see where the edge of the foot is. It's just underneath the, I really think we need to move.
To the left a little
Yes,
bit.
I think we need to put this on the edge of the foot and then move the needle so we have a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
Okay? Let me get in front of the machine. We're going to put this down so that the edge of the foot is on the edge of your fabric. Okay? And then we're going to move the needle to the right. So what you want to do is do left, right, shift. Excuse me, I'm in front of the camera. Right here, left, right, shift.
Okay.
Touch your up arrow and your needle will move to the right. And I forget what we have to do for 1/4 inch. 1.75 maybe? I meant 4.75. And I do believe that gives us a 1/4 inch because 3.5 is in the center. So 1.75 would be half of that. So that gives us a 1/4 inch with a J foot.
Okay.
Okay? So get right in front of the needle. Remember I told you, always your nose in front of your needle. Wrong foot. You have to use the big pedal.
Oh. So I just sew.
Yes. And we're just using a 2.5 stitch length. Oh,
Well-
Joni has her backup. Go ahead. It'll be fine. I usually don't use that stitch
We can
because
turn that off.
when I quilt, I don't back up. But Joni, when she does her garments, she always uses the backup. So try to keep that fabric right at the edge. And again, this is a very simplistic quilt pattern. That's why I picked it. And so we're not doing triangles and things, so the 1/4 inch can be off ever so slightly. But you want to try to keep it at the edge of that foot. Where is our tins? If you keep this next to you, then you can just drop your clips right in the tin. And it keeps your sewing room tidy, which is important to me.
Oh, I feel like I'm coming
You're kind
off
of,
the side.
yes, you
little.
are a little bit. Okay, how about
So
cut your
what do I do?
threads? Cut your threads. Let's go back to where you were on. Slide back here to where you were at a good 1/4 inch. Okay. Put the foot down so the fabric's right at the edge of the foot. And that can happen too, even when you have the 1/4 inch foot on. And since this is inside the seam, we don't even have to pick it out. See, I think you need to come over even a little more. There we go. There you go. Now we're not on the line where we started. Let's go back here some. Let's see. I'm going to take the needle down so that I'm on your line where you were sewing. Whoop,
Oops.
put the foot down, and now try to keep the fabric at the edge of the foot.
Okay.
If you have to pull it a little to the right, then you have to do that to keep it at the edge of the foot. To the right, so that you're on the edge of the foot. You want to bring this over a little bit. Keep sewing. You want this to be at the edge of there you go. See how you can see it a little bit right there? That's what you want to see.
Okay.
And if you think you're getting off, then you stop, cut, and move back to where you think you were on. Now, if your seam had gone way over, we would have had to pick it up because it wouldn't be hidden in your 1/4 inch seam. But it's hidden in there now. Okay. And when you're done here, you get to use that brand new beautiful iron. I told Steve I am jealous because I have the older Panasonic that I love and adore, but it shuts off very quickly. This one stays on for 2 hours. But you can always turn it off. It isn't like you have to leave it on for 2 hours. If you're only in your sewing room for an hour, you just turn it off before you leave.
Gosh.
That's right, Melba. It is hard. Everybody tries to watch their needle. And I always tell them, you don't have to watch the needle. The needle will sew. You don't have to watch it. You have to watch what you're guiding. Well, we could have used a guide beam. You're right, Sharon.
Oh. Okay. Okay, we're lined up.
There you go. Keep your fabric at the edge of the foot. There you go. Now I'm not right in front of the needle, so I can't tell, but you can tell better than I can. You'll get to do the other side. You'll get some more practice.
You still.
Sometimes
Oh
it
my
just,
gosh.
you're good.
You're okay.
It's good. Sometimes it just gets cranky, and if you're afraid of going too fast, turn this speed control down right here.
Oh.
That'll slow you down a little bit.
Well, that's a cool feature.
Mm-hmm. You need that on your motorcycle, Sarah.
I do. No.
We have our two muscle men out there, Alex and Nick, putting together shelving units for us. And they're all going to be here on Sunday, setting up for our big event, right, Steve? Are you going to need more muscle than just those two?
Oh, we're all the muscle we can get.
Because maybe Lizzie's boyfriend will come, Zach.
Yep, we'll take it.
Your fabrics are sliding a little bit. It will be fine. It will be fine. It won't even be noticeable.
Yep.
It will be lovely. Okay.
Do I keep going
Nope,
or
cut.
stop?
I would
Cut?
cut the thread, yes. Because we're going to go down the other side. Now, if you were really making this quilt in real life, you would take another strip and just start it right after that strip. You know what I mean? You would just start the next one and next one, next one, next one, next one.
And
Okay.
just do it all at
Yes.
once.
So now you're going to come over here to the ironing board, the ironing mat. You're going to lay it flat first. And what you want to do,
We should move over so we're in the camera.
okay. Thank you. Let me put this here. I can't go home and forget it. Whoop. Whoop. Come on, iron. Oh, look how long the cord is.
Wow.
Wow, nice.
Retractable.
Nice. Okay. So now you're going to, first of all, press it like this. And that sets your seam.
Okay.
So you'll do that all the way down. And then I'll show you how I press the seams back. And the longer you sew and quilt it, the better you get at it. It just happens. Just like any other hobby or sport, or practice makes perfect. Okay. So now,
Wrong
I
way.
do the same thing. So now what we'll do, since we're already at this end, when I press my fabrics to one side, I don't do it from the back, because you run a risk of what's the word I want to use? Pressing a little pleat right at the seam. So if you always work from the front, and the fabric you want, wherever you want your seam to flip to, that's the fabric you put on top, and you slide the iron like that. And then you're never going to get a little pleat in there.
Okay.
Okay? Just make sure you have it pulled back, and then you slide the iron and let it push it back.
All right.
At least that's how I do it. I never press my seams from the back, always from the front.
And she said, whichever side you want to press to, put that fabric on
Yeah,
top.
wherever you want the seam to go. That
Wherever
fabric
you want the
goes on
seam
top.
to go, put that
And
fabric
normally,
on top.
if you can, you try to press to the dark. But that doesn't always work.
I don't understand what you guys just said.
In time you
we
will.
Want this
In
seam.
time I will.
Yes.
If I was going to turn this over, see how the seam goes to the blue?
Yeah.
So I want the blue on top, because when I do this, it makes the seam go that direction.
Why do you want it a certain direction?
Because whenever you're quilting, you always press your seam one way. You don't press it
Okay.
open like when you're doing garments.
All right.
Okay? When you were doing the pants with Joni, you were probably pressing stuff open.
Yeah, with the little.
Yes. Okay. We have a visitor. Hi, Kathleen. Make sure it's going. Okay. Sometimes you have to pick it up a little bit, like this, and then slide the iron to make sure you don't twist the seam on the back. You don't want a twisted seam. Okay, now pull it down so you don't have to reach so far. Pull it down some more so you can get at it. There you go. Yeah, it looks good. Just press it towards the blue.
All right.
And when you don't understand something, it's good that you ask,
Yeah.
because people out there may not be understanding either. Sometimes you can just do that and give it a little finger press, and then it's ready for you to press with the iron. And this is a good time to explain to people about the length of fabrics. Both of these were cut across the width of the fabric. And everybody assumes all fabrics are exactly the same width, and they are not. I have even bought two fabrics from the same collection and had them been different widths. So you'll see that this navy blue grunge is just slightly narrower than the floral because Sarah started them together. Okay,
Yeah.
so when she does her other side, we're going to start that one at the exact same spot, so that when we trim the edge and then do our 10.5-inch pieces, this will be all scrapped down here. Okay, so where is it? Where are the rest of our blue? Oh, they're right underneath here.
There we go.
Grab yourself another one. You can clip if you want to.
I'm going to try not clipping this time.
Okay. I was going to have you sew from this end down like you did on the other one, so we don't get a twist in it. So we're going to be sewing from the back side this time. Okay. So
But
you'll be sewing this way with the wrong side of the fabric up.
okay.
Unless you want to sew from the other direction, that's up to you.
I don't know what the first way. I don't. Show me.
You sewed from here down. You started here and
Yep.
you sewed down. So I think you should start on that same side, but you're going to have to go this
Right.
way. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But, okay, maybe I should use the clips.
At least to get started, maybe.
Yeah. Oops, I pressed something.
Any more questions?
Oh my gosh.
She's clipping in midair.
Yeah,
she's
Trying.
she's that good.
Yes.
Oops.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. You got it.
All right.
Remember, keep that fabric right at the edge of the foot. And again, I'm sorry I forgot the 1/4-inch foot, but you still would have had to keep the fabric at the edge of the foot. So.
Oh.
And if it's not quite at the edge of the foot, when you put the foot down, you put the foot up and you move it over a little more. It's up to you. We have this fabulous foot control, and it has 2 foot pedals on it. And one you can set for all different things. You can set it to go in reverse. You can set it to cut threads. You can set it, what other things, Steve?
Needle
Have the
up,
foot
down.
pop up, needle
Yep.
up, down. I have mine set to cut threads. Not that I ever use it very often because I use this button. But every once in a while I get on the wrong foot control and I think I'm going to start sewing. And all of a sudden, kerchunk, all I did was cut thread and I don't realize what happened here. I'm on the wrong. That's why when Sarah sat down, I said, not that pedal. I don't know what yours is set for.
Oh, I'm not on the edge.
Cut the thread. Go back to where you started and try to stay on the edge.
Cut the thread.
You already did.
Oh, I did.
Yep.
How do you...
Try to put the needle back in the stitch line where you were. I don't think you're back in the stitch line where you were. Let me see. There we go. Okay. Start back there. Put your foot down. It probably goes down when you start to sew, but just in case.
I'm putting my foot down.
Yes, you are. Now stay on the edge of the fabric. If you have to, keep tugging it to the right a little bit if you have to.
Not focusing on the needle,
No, don't look at the needle.
just the edge.
The needle sews. You don't have to watch the needle. It's hard for people not to watch the needle. Everybody wants to watch their needle. Now, when you're doing applique, yes, then you have to watch your needle, but not when you're piecing. Maybe we'll get you into applique by the time we're done with this.
We'll
course.
see. Only time will tell.
Yes. Oh, now there's a thought. She says when she's doing long lengths of fabric like this, she kind of keeps her finger under the top layer of fabric so she can kind of watch what's going on
Oh,
underneath.
that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. My husband's putting our menu on the comments.
Is he making for dinner?
Yep, pork chops, butternut squash, and salad. He's
I
my
don't like
he's,
how it's like overlapping like that.
he's my cook. It's
Like how the, I don't know.
it's
It
fine.
looks
Just try
like
to
I'm doing something wrong.
just try to keep it as close as you can. This is Quilting 101. It's not a quilt that's meant to go to the Paducah Quilt Show. Just keep your fabric at the edge of the foot. There you go. There you go. You're going back out. That's good.
But how did that happen? Oh gosh.
Slow down and work this over a little bit. Just, just kind of give it one of these with your, like that. There you go.
Okay.
Work it over a little bit. That's all. Just kind of scoot it over with your fingernails. Just keep watching the edge of the foot and the edge of your fabric. Uh-oh, my husband made a great analogy of what? I don't know. What was his analogy?
I missed it. We'll have to scroll up.
Oh, now he's giving out recipes. He is a very good cook. I'm very lucky. Because that's one household chore I do not enjoy.
Yeah, that's what I need.
I like cooking. I
Keith
do.
loves to cook.
I enjoy cooking.
His dad was a wonderful cook too. His mom was too, but his dad was a wonderful cook.
I don't enjoy the grocery shopping.
No,
Oh.
and I don't do that either.
It's the worst.
If we stop after church, he'll say, "Go ahead, go grab the bread," and I'm like, "Where's the bread?" Never mind, I'll get it. Because I
Good.
never
All
go.
right. And then
Did your mom like to cook, Steve?
No,
No. So does your dad cook then?
he does. My
Doesn't-
dad likes to cook.
Okay, so navy blue on top because we wanted to go that direction, even though you sewed it the other way. Oh, that's pretty with the blue, isn't it?
yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. So pull it down so you can reach it. You don't have to reach so far. Then you're going to warm it again with the iron and then push it over.
Okay.
So I would do all of my warming first.
Down the whole thing.
Down the whole thing, yep. Might as well get that part done first. Okay, then you can start here, start pushing it over. Trying to keep that underneath from twisting. There you go. So we'll do this for 2 of these long strips like she's working on with the flowers or the print, whatever your kit was. Then we're going to do 2 long strips with her gold scroll, And then each of the gold scroll and the flower each have a small, just half across the width of the fabric. And then that's going to be another one we're going to cut. That way we'll get 10.
Aha.
Give you some steam. Do you have water in there?
No, a little bit, yep.
Okay. Yeah.
That way we'll get 10 rectangles of each color. And then before we're done today, I'll tell you what Sarah and I realized when we were looking at my daughter's quilt and we were looking at how this fabric is printed. We won't worry about that. If you put this up like this, let that lay flat and then iron it back like that.
Okay.
Then you don't have to play with it so much. Okay. Okay, pull it towards you so you don't have to stretch so far. Keep coming. There you go. Then I always look like this. And then I lay it back again so that when I press it, I know I'm not twisting that seam on the back.
Okay.
And twisting a seam isn't an issue until you go to quilt it, right, Steve?
That's right.
You want to stitch in the ditch, and all of a sudden your ditch is going 2 different directions. You don't want a twisted seam. Okay. All right.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so now we can move the ironing mat out of the way. Let me get this off the table. I don't want you to get burnt. Okay, so now let's start at this end where you started because you lined them up so nicely. And we want to cut just the tiniest bit off of here to get rid of this salvage. Can you see this salvage? All these are fuzzy. They're all salvage. So you want to cut like no more than a ½ inch off.
But there's font right there.
Oh, you're right. That's a big one. So we have to come clear down here. Okay. I didn't even see that. So actually, if you cut right at the end of those numbers, those letters,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll have enough to do, for a seam and everything. So when I do this, when you lay your roller down, you want this to be nice and square.
Okay.
And the way to make that square, in my mind, is I take one of these lines on the roller, any line, doesn't matter, and I line it up with this seam that you sewed. See that? You want it to be right on the seam. Then you'll hold it still and you'll trim that.
Okay.
And you'll see this one lines up really well with that seam
Yeah.
too. See, so all your worrying about your seams, they're just perfectly fine. Okay, now the directions tell us, where did I put my book?
Oh,
There
right
it
here.
is. The directions tell us we're to cut these into pieces that are, I believe, 10½ inches. Let me make sure. Okay. 10½ inches. Okay. So we're going to do the 2 ruler deal again. Steve, can you hand me one of those rulers behind you? Doesn't matter which one. That one's good. That one's good. Okay. So we're going to find 10½ inches on this ruler. We're going to lay it down so that the 10½ inches is right on the raw edge like that you just trimmed. So now we know it's 10½ inches up to there.
Okay.
So it's just like last week, 2 weeks ago when we were doing this. Let's move this over so we're not struggling. Okay. 10½. Then you'll hold that still and you'll line this ruler up to it. Hold, there you go. Okay, then you can move him out of the way, just like before, and cut your 10½ inch piece. I much prefer doing it this way instead of using the mat to measure with. Okay, then you're just going to do that till you have 4 of these.
All right. 10½.
Nice and square. So it's lined up nicely on that end. And we squared that in, so it should be square. Okay.
And again. No, it's not square.
Sure it is. Look, that's the same distance here.
Oh, okay.
It'll quilt out.
It just looks.
Yeah. I think you're getting confused with the lines on the mat. See, this is lined up
Oh,
here.
yeah, it
This is,
might be.
Yeah, you're seeing that line going off, and you're thinking that's the line on the ruler, but it's not.
We'll see.
But I like that you're being particular.
It looks crooked to me, but
That's because it's not straight sitting on the mat. All right, once you cut it, let's make it on the mat straight. See? It's okay.
all right.
All right.
It'll quilt
It was
out.
it was
Yeah,
sitting
is.
this way, and I think that was throwing
Yeah.
you. Okay. Then
It's
one
close enough.
more cut.
I think.
And the way I do this cut is, I would do it. No, may as well keep going the way you're going. Okay. Put your 10.5 down again.
Oh no!
You grabbed the wrong side.
I grabbed the
Oh.
wrong side.
Just put it back on.
Just lay that blade down.
Just lay the blade down. Nope, other
Nope,
way.
wrong way.
No. Yes, that's the right way. Go ahead. I was thinking we had to go in from the other side. And then you just push this up. So that's how easy you can change your
Wow.
blade. So if your blade ever falls off,
Let
folks,
me
you know
make
what
sure
happens.
that's 10.5 again, just in case. Yep, we're good.
Okay. This is what you have left.
So we have some concerned citizens about whether those were cut at 10 or 10.5.
They were cut at 10.5, I
So
hope.
we can,
Yeah, we had the ruler on 10.5.
okay. Some people were,
10.5. Well,
We've-
see, this side are whole numbers. This side has the half-inch
there's
building.
concerned people out there, so
Okay, it was
Thank
we'll just
you.
double check
Yes,
them. Yes.
10.5, 11, yes,
Thanks for
10.5.
caring about my quilt.
And about you. Okay, all right, so this is what we're going to do for your homework. You're going to do the other strip like this. You're going to do both of these, the golden strips, and then you're going to do the half strips. So all of those will be cut into 4. So that means you'll have 8 of these, 8 of those, and then these short ones will be cut into 2. That'll give us 10 of each kind.
That was a lot.
Okay. Well, I'll be around.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, each one of these strips will yield 4. Each one of these will yield 4. The half strips will yield 2.
Okay.
So you'll get 10 of these total, 10 of these total.
So all of them will get a blue strip
yes, all of them get a blue strip on either side.
on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are already cut half strips for these. You
Okay.
already cut those.
Yep. We did
Okay.
that.
All right, now, something Sarah and I realized today, we were looking at my daughter's quilt, and we were thinking, this fabric is directional. Remember we noticed that today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we get ready to put the quilt together, what we'll do is, we will make sure,
Let me hold that up for you.
okay, we will make sure that the directional ones will be placed in the horizontal direction so that all the flowers are going to be growing uphill.
So
Yeah, like
hold
this.
it.
Like this. Here, let's take one of these.
Oh, good idea.
We will make sure that we'll put them this way. Because if we put them this way, all the flowers are going to be growing sideways.
We don't want that.
And this, so we want to make sure that we remember to put them in the horizontal orientation.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay. And I'm thrilled that you're enjoying it.
Woohoo! I like the fabrics I picked.
Yes, I do too. It's funny how she started with this one. This is definitely the fabric she wanted to use. This one.
Yeah, I kept
Absolutely,
passing
I
by
want that one.
in
So
the
then,
store.
so then we had to coordinate everything with that. And I'm looking for my other half piece. Here it is. or your other half piece, I should say. So I put these together, and I put the half strips with them so you would know not to like cut one of those off or something. Okay? All right, now what questions do we have?
I do need my own Gloria Horn apron.
Oh,
I'll get one maybe for next time.
I think Steve could make that happen.
We can get you an apron.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we can have a show where you embroider your name on it.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
You'll have to do that with Kathleen or Kathy and Mary Lou.
That sounds like
They're
a
the
fun,
embroidery queens.
fun activity.
So you're taller than me. I had to shorten my apron. Every time I walked, it was clear down in front of my knees. I felt like it was tripping me, so I had to shorten mine.
So we have some products to show that help us with the quilting.
And do you
First-
have the little cheat sheet so we can tell them how to buy?
Oh, I can say
Are
all
you
that
gonna
for
do
them.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So if this is your first time here and you're on Facebook, just if it's your first time and you're on Facebook, we'd like you to register. You go down to the comment bar and type in the word register. A new screen will pop up. You can put in your first name, last name, email address, and phone number, and come on back because you don't want to miss anything. If you're on our app, you're all set. The app, I feel like, is the best way to watch. It's a good way. It's a free app. You just go to the App Store, type in the words Gloria Horn Sewing Studio, and a little sewing machine is going to pop up. Download our free app, and you get to tune into everything we're doing here.
That's
So,
my favorite.
another big announcement is that the 10% credit back is going to be turned on all the time now, indefinitely.
Oh,
So
wow.
you'll always be earning that credit back with us. Is a thank you to all of our supporters out there who watch our shows and things. We just feel like that'll just make you keep on coming back. So every purchase you make, with a few exceptions, will earn that 10% credit back.
All righty.
Thanks.
Okay.
Steve
So,
can make anything
It
happen.
happens.
That's right.
Yes, he
I
did.
felt like the wizard talking
are.
behind the curtain
Oh,
Yeah,
here.
yeah, you are, and you
Yep.
even have a green light
I do,
on,
yeah.
your, on
So-
your microphone.
So our first item is the new Panasonic iron.
Oh, jealous, 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 jealous. It makes lots of steam. See? Okay.
Stays on for 2 hours.
Stays on for 2 hours. I gotta
not
have
8
one.
minutes.
I gotta get one. Has the little base where you hang it up and it recharges. And when you first turn it on, if it's charging, you just take this off and go put your water in, and you don't have to take it off the base. It can continue to charge while you
Okay.
put the water in.
Is that a new feature or that?
No.
Okay.
That's been for a
been-
long, long time. And it has the little switch. You saw Steve switched it over so she could have some steam. We had it on dry only. And then you can squirt water, or you can give it the steam burst like I just did. And I do love mine. And mine is 2 generations before this one.
We put on the red dot.
Oh, I thought I was on the red dot. Sorry.
That's okay.
This is something new to me, the red dot.
I know, right?
Uh-huh. Every time I come in here, there's something new. All right, this is
So it has
for
high,
me.
medium, low setting. They use regular water. And the big thing about this one is that it stays on for 2 hours. That automatic shutoff
Yes.
doesn't shut off in 8 minutes like the one prior. So when you go back to it from sewing, you'd have to wait for it to heat up. This one stays warm all the time, so you can just get to sewing more.
But even the one at 8 minutes, it warms up pretty quick.
It does.
If it is shut off 2 or 3 minutes, it warms up pretty quick.
Yes, definitely use regular tap water. They have an anti-calc system that keeps the white residue from forming in the iron. So
And I've had so many irons that if you hit the steam, it'll spit water on your quilt. I have never had my Panasonic spit water. Never.
Panasonic's a good company. We are very abusive to our irons here, and
Sometimes
They
we
have
do the drop
lasted.
test on the floor even.
we do. Up next is our 3 favorite rulers. So you get a 3-pack bundle here. It's going to give you the 3x12, 3x18, and 6x24.
Okay.
I believe that's a 6.5.
This is a
but,
6.5 by 20.
but it'll be the 6.
Yeah.
So
Which is I
Put it on the red dot.
I prefer the 6.5. The Gloria, everybody here likes the 6. They don't like the extra ½ inch. But all my rollers have the extra ½ inch, so I just got used to it.
let's see.
3 ruler bundle.
These Quilter Select rulers are wonderful.
So grab a piece of fabric and show them how well it holds.
Favorite part.
Yep.
Here, are you going to use
Oh,
that?
in
Okay.
comparison to. Okay, so
So
It holds the fabric.
see, the ruler doesn't slip, but the fabric moves.
Yes. So
Yep.
if she's in the middle of cutting and everything moves together, it doesn't matter. But
Does
if
this
you're
one do it?
but if you're in the middle of cutting and the ruler slides on the fabric, then you've got a problem.
Try the other one, Sarah.
It doesn't grip as well.
It's supposed to.
Well, but
it
you have
has
to,
the grip.
You have to with a
It's
ruler
not
like
quilt or
this.
select.
With a ruler like that, you have to push down really, really hard.
Oh, okay.
Really hard.
And it still slips a
Yes,
little.
but it still slips a little. Yep.
So these are better.
I like them. I like them a lot.
So it's a bundle at a really good price. It's marked down to the 88 at the end, plus you'll earn that 10% credit back. That's a good deal on those
I
three
don't have
rulers.
this one.
They're more
I don't
expensive
have
than
the
some of the
18.
others, but they're nice.
But they're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And from sewing, sometimes they start to get a buildup of like lint on the back. All you have to do is run them underwater, let it dry, and all that lint's gone, and they're just as sticky as ever again. Sticky as ever.
Yep.
Grippy, I guess I should
Yep.
say. But they will get, a dust buildup accumulation from the fabric. Okay, what's next?
The 6.5 inch
Square?
by 24.
Oh, 6.5 by 24. Okay, that's my favorite because I like that extra half inch. I can't tell you how many quilts in my lifetime the borders are 6.5 cut, and I just innately know if I'm looking for 3.5 inches, I know to use that side of the ruler. If I'm looking for 3 inches, I use this side. I've just gotten so accustomed to it. But if you're not accustomed to it, then you end up cutting your fabric too short or too wide, too narrow or too wide. That's another good one. That's my second most favorite ruler, the 6.5 inch square. Because like when you saw, well, Sarah couldn't use this for here. But last week, 2 weeks ago, when she was cutting off small pieces of fabric, you don't want to be using this big guy to cut 2 inches. You can take this guy and lay him down and cut 2 inches. It's much more manageable, much more manageable. Okay. But these are my two favorites right here: 6.5 by 24.5 or 24, and 6.5 by 6.5. And a lot of times you're making a quilt with 6 inch blocks that are cut at 6.5. So this guy is great for laying down and trimming your block out when you're done.
The big gripper.
Oh, the gypsy gripper. Okay. Put this on your roller, push down, and lock it.
Do we have a little gripper in here? Or I don't think so.
I'll look and see.
And this is great, number one, it protects your hand. Like I told you on the show a couple weeks ago, I cut the whole side off of this finger once with a rotary cutter
Yeah.
because I was moving the roller and not paying attention, and my finger got over the edge of the roller. So you don't have to worry about cutting your finger. Plus, a lot of times I'll go to pick up my roller and I'm doing this, trying to get it off the mat because it almost makes like a suction. But if you have this, you can always pick it up. Every ruler in the store has one of these on it, I think.
So, our rotary. So Ruth Ann, let's show Sarah how you change a blade out with your rotary cutter.
Alrighty.
The safest way
Yeah,
to
the
do it.
safest way to do it. Not in the middle of working, yeah. You just take either your thumb. I always have to use two because my thumbs aren't that strong. I just do that from the back side. Everything drops to the table. Then I pick up the blade very gingerly. And we have containers here we put our used blades in. Get a new blade out. Put it back down where you took the old one. Put this down on top.
Wrong side.
Other way. There you go.
Sorry, wrong side. And then push up.
Okay.
I would have figured that out in a minute. When I saw I didn't have a trigger there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. But it is easy. The old rotary cutters, you had to take this out, and then there was a little bent washer. It was a funny little shaped spring steel washer. Then there was a nut, and I would take everything out and I'd line it up on the table, so that when I put it back together, I knew that this went first and this went second and this
whole
went third.
project in itself.
It was a project, absolutely. These splash cutters are very nice, and they have them in the 28 millimeter too, by the way.
Red dot?
Okay.
The
I don't know.
there it is.
Excuse me.
Oh, cover the red dot.
There we go.
The titanium blades.
Oh yeah, they are wonderful. Do you have them here?
Check the drawer right in front of you.
Okay.
There might be a pack in there.
Mm,
Let's see out here.
Oh,
yep, that's open. I don't think those are titanium.
Here they are. Found them.
Yep,
Found 'em.
there you go. Okay.
So these are titanium 45 millimeter rotary cutter blades.
Yes.
We cut fabric all the time. Natalia, who cuts all our fabric
$24.95.
orders,
Yeah. she
said, "I
uses
want
them all the
those gold ones again because they cut so well. They last so long. So now we're hooked on them. That's all we use. So
Well, and
you get
they're so reasonably
you get a
priced.
10-pack for $24.95. So that's $249 a blade.
And you know, blades were so expensive that we would use a dull blade forever. And you'd have to go like this 3 times to cut your fabric.
Yep.
And then you start chewing up the edge of the fabric, and fabric isn't cheap. But now with these, $295, $245, I mean, I'm just going to change my blade.
Yep. Let's see. The big wool pressing mat, the big long one.
This giant one. This is a great one. I have one like this on my big board at home, my 22 by 60 big board. Is that what this is to
That
fit?
one is 21 5/8 by 59 inches long.
Okay, so it's pretty much for a big
Yep.
board. Yep. Okay, and you can see, here I am behind it, and you can't even see the other end of it. Let me pull it so you can see the other end. It's very long. So it's basically 5 feet long. And it fits on the big giant, big board.
And this one's is the
The
thicker
thicker one.
version. Yep.
It's probably over a ½ inch, I think. The one I have at home is very thin. That's what they were when they first come out, so I
Yep.
need to get a thicker one.
Let's see. And then some of the other size mats. Do we have any of the... I think we can go on to... How about the lamp behind us? Let's go
Oh,
over and talk
yes.
about that.
This would be really nice. We have it at the sewing machine, but it would be really great to have at your cutting table.
Coming around.
Okay. And it has different levels of light. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 different levels. 1, 2, 3, 4 different levels of light. And you really, you know, people say this all the time, but you can never have too much light. You really can't,
agree.
especially when you're measuring 1/8 inches and 1/4 inches, and you want to be able to see accurately.
Yeah.
And it has the gooseneck, you know, that bends. And then these guys can be concentrated together in the center. They can be moved out, however you need them.
Yeah, I think
I don't-
my pet peeve is bad lighting.
I have lights like this overhead that Keith put in for me, and my Solaris has such bright light. I really don't need extra light too much at the machine, but I really like it at the cutting table.
Okay.
The Solaris has, what do they call it? Stadium lighting.
Stadium lighting, yes.
And it is.
And I always judge a lamp by how long it stays on our sewing station. And this lamp has made it a long time, so we must like it, because the ones that we don't like, we don't keep up
Yep.
there. So this one's a good one. We've been happy with it.
And I like that it just sits there. You don't have to take
Yeah.
it. You don't have to screw it to the table, you know, with like a C-clamp. Remember the ones that had like a C-clamp, Steve?
Yeah.
And then you can't move it without undoing it.
So I think the description did say 3/8 inch on that, but those wool mats are now, that's thicker than 3/8. It might read
Give me
3/8.
that little 6x6 roll.
But-
Where is it?
They are a little bit thicker.
There we go. That is just slightly over a ½ inch. Look, Sarah.
Probably a 5/8 inch.
No, not quite
Right.
5/8, but it's slightly over a half.
Our description might need updated. Let's show them Sarah's 3-yard quilt bundle.
Oh, okay. Okay, want to take them out?
Well, that's the one with the.
You can use your
fabric.
samples.
Oh wait, it's over here. I thought it was.
Yep.
You can use these.
Wait, it was on the table over there. Okay. There it is. She has it. Okay. This is the one we showed 2 weeks ago. I think it's beautiful, but I'm very partial to blue and gold because those were my high school colors.
Let's go. There we go.
Again,
this
our
one.
3-yard quilt kits are not just 3 yards. The main focal fabric, we give you 1 yard. These 2 fabrics, we give you 1.25 yards, so that you can decide whichever one of these you want to use when you're all done for binding. Because her directions, as lovely as they are, she only allows you 1.5 inches wide for binding. And that means your binding has to be very, very thin, only 1 layer thick. And it would be, to me, it would be an ordeal trying to put binding on with a strip only 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches wide. So now we gave you extra of these 2, so you will be able to do standard 2.5 inch double fold binding.
Great. I know what that means.
You will.
Yes.
You will.
Yes. We have a lot of 3-yard quilts to share with them today. Do we actually know? Let's do our new quilt kit maybe. Let's go to that
Okay.
one. Then we'll go to our, yep.
Alrighty. Let's put this back in the...
Do we have backing fabric for Sarah's quilt? Not yet, but we might.
We might. I don't think we have the other quilt kits that we're selling in here.
Here,
It's
my
okay.
bag. I'll put that in while you show those. Okay. Now for this kit, this would be your main focal fabric. The I'm going the wrong direction. The Blue Angels, and then your 2.25 yards pieces would be these 2. So you could decide whichever one you wanted to use for your binding and your other blocks. Joy says, Jan says she loves her new light. She must have bought it. Oh, and Melba uses hers by her chair when she does hand stitching. It's very
Yeah,
portable.
it's really bright.
Yeah, it's very portable. You can move it around anywhere. Give me that. Did he just? Okay.
There we go.
Thank you. If we don't do this right now, it'll be lost. Okay. Now this 3-yard quilt book that I'm working from today is a very, very old one. Very old one. But I wanted the most simplistic quilt I could
Which one is
find
that
to
one?
get started. And this is Fast and Fun 3-yard quilts.
Okay.
Do you have that one in there?
Yeah, we'll put it down.
Okay. But it's an oldie but goodie. I don't know what it... Well, 2018. That's 6 years.
We'll show them the back.
I'll show the back.
Yeah.
This is the quilt we were doing today. But like I showed you, the one that my daughter has almost finished, it's much more beautiful if you pick beautiful fabrics like Sarah has.
Yeah.
I love 3-yard quilts because it's easy to pick 3 fabrics that coordinate. You get one that's busy, 2 that kind of read as solid, and then you put your quilt together. If you want to make these bigger, inside the instructions show you how to add fabric.
Yes, you could.
To maybe this
She
into
talks
a
about making a king or queen or a king.
Yep, and they're easy, simple blocks. They're fast quilts, and that's what I like. I like getting a quilt done. So done is better
And
than
especially
perfect.
if it's, say you want to make a quilt just for Christmas to drape over a chair, or you're making a community service quilt, something to donate to Ronald McDonald House. The idea is to make as many as you can, not something very intricate that's going to take you 2 years to make it. You want to make as many as you can. I just bought this one, and I made a quilt for my grandson. I'm trying to keep the
Very
light from
cute.
shining on it. There we go.
And the back of it.
Okay. This one is the one I just made, the 9+1. And it was done in yellows and grays. This little cat actually has applique on it, and the dog, it looks like. Okay. Yeah, this is one of the newest ones, I think. And this is a mother and daughter and the grandchildren. This one's 2022. Okay. This is
Okay. Moving on.
okay.
Quilts on the double.
3-yard quilts on the double. 8 clever new quilt patterns written for 3 yards of fabric each. So on the double is just a clever name. It doesn't really mean that you're getting 2 quilts. Okay.
And then the back.
Trying to keep the reflection off. This is called an attic window. That's
Oh,
nice.
those are cool. That's really interesting. Looks 3D.
Yep. It's supposed to look like you're looking out a window.
That's cool.
Sometimes people will take a panel with deer and stuff like that, and they'll cut it up in pieces
Oh,
and
make
put
it
it in
look
there.
like
It looks
it's
like
peeping.
it looks like you're actually looking out into
Looking out.
nature. Okay, what is this one?
Make it modern with 3-yard quilts.
Okay. Keep trying to get the reflection off of it.
Oh,
Go the
my
wrong direction.
Goodness.
When we're looking at the screen, we have to move the opposite
It's the
direction.
opposite. Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
and I invariably go the wrong way the first time. That's the daughter. You met them at Quilt Market, didn't
I
you?
have. They're
you
wonderful.
met the mother and the daughter?
They're delightful. They are absolutely delightful.
Ooh, I like this one. Very mod.
Very modern. This one is done red, white, and blue. It almost looks patriotic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And that one was called Make It Modern.
And each book comes with like 8 patterns in them,
Oh,
which is nice.
yes,
I think.
pretty sure. Yep, they always say 8.
Quick as a wink.
I don't know how they come
Quick
up with
as
this
a
many
wink.
ideas.
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
There you go. My daughter Sally, she loves modern quilts. I know she does. She likes the
And
quilt
then-
in the middle row on the left. Oh, the blue and green one, Carol.
And then the back of that one.
This would have been another simple one to start you with.
Yeah. That's cool.
It looks like it's woven.
I see one on every book that I want to make.
There you go. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we're not done yet. This woman's been busy.
Make it easy. 3-yard quilts. There's one on the back of this.
Her name's Donna. Donna Robertson. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy to piece designs. I like that one.
Oh yeah. Because of the colors.
I like the colors. Yeah.
That has a modern twist to it, actually. Okay.
That one's called Make It Easy.
Yes.
Okay.
Now what?
Little-
One more.
Magic of 3-yard quilts.
Yes. Really, you couldn't go wrong with any of these books. There's going to be one in that book that you're going to love. Okay. And then this is the back. I did this one as a sample for one of our shows with the diamonds.
Wow.
That's been a couple years ago now, I think, or maybe a year ago.
And I think key is picking the fabric.
Yes.
You want to pick 3, a light, medium, and a dark. That's important to have a light, medium, and a dark.
Yes, and I like a big focal print, a smaller print, and then one that reads almost like a solid. And that's, if you saw all of our ones we showed today, that's exactly how we picked them. But if you pick your focal print first, then you pull your other colors and fabrics from it.
Let's do our needle bundle, 100
Oh,
pack of
what about
needles.
this quilt,
Oh,
Bob?
yeah, we can do that one.
Is there
Is
another?
it on the
Yeah, it's in the list right here.
Quilts for autumn.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's
This
pretty.
is a different.
This is an Annie's book.
quilting.
Annie's books are so reasonable. You get so much for the money. This one is only what? How much is this one?
These are 10. These are always
$9.99.
$10. Yeah,
Hard
and
to
these books
believe.
are always.
And there's 11 different seasonal projects in there.
Wow.
Here's a lot of them on the back right here. Cute table runner, door hanger, red truck again. Look at that one. That's pretty. It's like an
Yeah.
acorn with a little
Oh, I see the
stars on
acorn.
it. Very
Very
nice.
cute.
Oh, and spiders for Halloween.
Yeah, they got it all.
Yeah, they do for fall. Okay. All right. Next was our needle pack.
Our 100 pack of needles, the 8012s.
Do you have them to show?
I do. They should be right. I just thought I set them right up there. Right here.
Oh, there we go. I didn't see them. This is how I buy my 8012 needles, because I use these for my quilt, my piecing, And all the sewing I do, except for embroidery, then I use the 9014s or the 7511s.
These are 100
Yes.
size 80-12 Class A needles.
And again,
so
they're very reasonably priced, so you don't have to worry about changing your needle frequently. And I probably change my needle more than I should.
when in doubt, change it
You
out.
need- I know.
Yes.
I keep an old ibuprofen bottle with a snap-on lid, and I keep filling it up till it's full, and then I throw it away, and then I get another one. But if you don't know when you changed your needle last, it's time to change it. And 8012 is my go-to needle.
And there's 100 of them in here.
Yes, yes,
So that'll last
yes.
a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting.
Look at all those
Look at that.
sharp needles.
Uh-huh, yep.
Nothing better.
Oh,
Your
Melba
scissors?
says we're missing a Fabric Cafe book that used curved seams. We'll have to look for that one.
We do. We have. I think we have it over there. I think
Okay.
I've just missed it.
All right.
Your little green snips.
I love
Little
these.
guys. Yeah, they're
My best friend Diane in
They're comfy
Arkansas
to hold.
bought me those little tiny Karen K. Buckley scissors. I also have the larger turquoise ones, but I have big thumbs. So
Do you?
I do. When I go bowling, I have to get a really big heavy ball because the holes in the ladies' ball, my thumb gets stuck in it.
oh my gosh.
So if I use little tiny scissors with a little hole, I have to fight to get my thumb out of it. So these give me lots of room, and they're cushioned.
Fat finger scissors. It's
Yes.
okay. I have to use fat finger scissors too. So,
yeah.
and then our purple scissors we always love.
Archive scissors. We didn't really use these today. We were using the rotary cutter, but these are fabulous scissors. Kathy likes them because of the angle. When she's doing her Kimberbell projects and she has to trim her batting, you can just slide right along. And most people use little snips. Kathy uses these to cut around her batting, and she goes just like I don't know what, a lightning around when she trims. And I know that when we're looking to cut fabric, not with the rotary cutter, but with scissors, we all run to look for these Kais. And they're slightly serrated, right there. And so when you cut the fabric, it holds the fabric and cuts. The old school scissors weren't serrated. When you went like this, the fabric would
shoot
squirt
out.
out the end of your scissors. See, she knows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hair scissors are like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
All right.
All righty. Is there any
We're
more
all done.
questions before we say adieu?
I think that's it. We'll be back tomorrow, right? At noon. Is tomorrow Wednesday?
I don't think Sherry's doing a show
No
tomorrow
Wednesday. No
because
no
she's
noon
so
show.
busy getting ready for the event,
So we're doing a 3:00 show tomorrow.
and that'll be Kimberbell.
That'd be Kimberbell. Yep.
And then of course Thursday night.
Thursday night, and then we'll be at the event. So we'll see everyone tomorrow.
Alrighty, bye bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye bye. Thank you.